So going back to the Eric Koston photo, back nose blunt Hubba Hideout, what year was that?
98.
Okay.
Yeah, March or April of 98, because I remember my son wasn't born yet. And I was like, he was due around June.
Okay.
And we were driving up to Vancouver to go to the Slam City contest.
All you guys?
All of us. Like, a lot of people, yeah.
Okay. I was wondering what happened because there was Rick in the background. You
Yes.
could see he's waiting
Yeah.
for his turn.
Yeah.
What was he trying?
I think he was trying like front shove crook. He was doing a couple different things.
Okay.
So that's why I ran to Walgreens. Again,
Walgreens.
That's my spot.
Walk in. Hey, Mike.
That's my secret photo spot. And got Konica 3200 speed print film. So I didn't have to set up flashes for just one of the ledges. I can shoot both of them.
There's a lot to this photography thing. I don't know.
Film speed, who knows?
So I went and bought like literally like the fastest print film I could find, and it was like Konica 3200 speed print film.
Damn.
And it allowed me to shoot both without setting up flashes, which also in hindsight not the best film in the world.
Okay.
But I got a snip test of it done, which means what they do is they'll pull out just a small portion of it and process like 2 inches of it.
Wait a minute. You're going to you're shooting.
Sorry, I'm sorry if this is turned into a photo.
No, I absolutely love it
My
because
bad.
here's me just
Everyone.
thinking, oh, Blabac with a photo, got the thing, but it's a whole
It was
process.
kinda like
you know
that.
what I mean? But you got the
layers.
film, you went and tested it.
Well, so here's what we did.
These guys are skating. You might miss some shit.
No, I didn't do it while we were skating.
Oh, well, I thought it was like the K-list.
I
thing, where you
appreciate
was
I appreciate you thinking.
Hold
I'm
on,
doing
guys. Got to go to Walgreens. Please hold.
Hold tight.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
He shot that. We drove up to Vancouver, went to the contest, came back to LA. Then that's when I had it processed.
How is that? I mean, like nowadays, right? Take the photo, look at it. I mean, you're on a tour.
Yeah.
Eric Koston backside nose blunts, Hubba.
Yeah.
And now you continue on your your tour.
No idea what it looks like.
No idea
We don't know if we got
if
that.
you got it.
No, none whatsoever.
Like I would have anxiety. Like if I was shooting all this shit and not knowing if
Right.
I would want to run over and get it developed. I would want to make sure.
That's where
Yeah.
we're at these days, you know?
Bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
But fortunately, I had some semblance of knowing what I was doing.
Well,
at
I
that
know,
point.
I know that.
Got some confidence
I know
in his
that.
skills.
But listen,
So-
I mean,
He
anything
has
can
glasses
happen.
at that point. Yeah, he knew how to
Listen,
shoot.
can anything happen in processing and all this stuff? You could lose film and like
So here's the
X-ray
thing.
machines. You hear of tours and it's
Oh
like
yeah,
crazy.
Absolutely. So that's the thing is I remember I think it was however it was, I think Rick was kind of giving me shit one day. He was like, "You're sharing a room with Sheffy." And I was
Okay.
like, "Okay." Because I kind of knew him. I knew him from Michigan. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
sure,
Like
sure.
we used to I'd shot photos of him when we were both kids in Michigan. I was like, "All right, I got that. Like no big deal." But I kept that roll of film in my pocket the entire time because no matter what happened to everything that I had, I still had that roll of film with me. So it never left my pocket.
This is what I'm talking
the entire
about.
time I was on that
A
trip.
little bit of anxiety, right? A little bit of like,
No,
I got to watch over this.
No, anxiety had I left the film in the room. No anxiety with it in my pocket.
Yeah, you know where that thing is at all times. Yeah.
I
What if
did.
you jumped in
Yeah.
the pool and forgot it was it?
Can't even swim.
Wouldn't have did that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Take a shower,
I don't shower with my
don't-
clothes on.
I don't know these things.
Hell
That's
of
why
a-
that's why you're here. That was my next question. Do you shower with your clothes on? I don't know.
No, turns out I don't.
I don't know. I just find it just really insane.
Yeah.
You go overseas, and a lot of photographers, they have to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
They can't go through the X-ray machine. They got their bags checked, and it takes a long time. It's
Yeah.
a process.
It is.
He's
But,
like,
you know-
I'm worried about Chef. I'm not worried about none of that.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I'm worried about getting punched in the face.
What, do you have
Which
any good?
Sean is a sweetheart now. He ain't gonna.
He
do
really
that.
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Best.
He's the best.
You got any good Sheffy stories?
He was
I
the
mean,
best
there's a
then.
few,
Let me
probably,
clarify.
yeah.
He was the best then too. He
Oh,
just
yeah.
had moments that
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
kind of make you scared.
He would make you scared. He would wild out.
No, it's funny because my daughter and I were at Colin's house recently, and she was like playing on her Switch, and Sean was sitting with her, and we were driving home, and she's like, Sean's the nicest guy. And I'm like, girl, you don't even know. So we went home and watched like the life video and the plan. She was like, wow, look at his hair. And I'm like, yep. I'm like, look at him. She's like, he's amazing. And I'm like, yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Certainly is and was.
Legend.
And still is,
amazing. Yeah.
So Eric Koston, Back Nose Blunt, you guys are on a tour up to, you said Vancouver?
Yes.
Slam City Jam? Where are we going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, this was just one stop. This is one day. Like, would you stay in SF for a day or two?
I think we stayed the night in SF.
That's a good halfway point, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
From LA. Like we went up there to skate Hubba because it was, Mesa. I remember like poking Eric, like, when are you going to do the Back Nose Blunt?
Oh, he
you
was
know what
already
I mean?
claiming it.
Well, because we were filming for the chocolate tour.
Gotcha.
And that was like, we, want to get that. And so, we stopped in SF. He did that, library session, like skated the library for a while, and then on our way up to Vancouver.
How many tries did it take Eric to do that?
I could look in the film, not that many. I mean, it was one roll of film. I couldn't.
Really?
Walgreens only had a couple rolls of film. I think I had like maybe 2 rolls of that film, and it was like hard to get even back then because it was such an obscure kind of film.
Yeah.
Which thankfully they had it. And I'm so thankful that I didn't shoot it with like flash, like the way photos were traditionally shot back then.
Why?
Because it has like such a dope look to it. I like high-speed
it.
print film because if you blow that up really big, it looks like a drawing.
Like
the
little
grain,
dots
the
and,
grain
like-
is huge in it.
Okay.
Because there's a thing again. It's a photo class. I'm sorry, everyone.
No, I love
So there's a
Gotta
thing
push
called
that film.
Yeah, exactly. There's that voice. So I came back to LA and immediately had to get the film processed. So I took it to this lab in the Valley, and I was like, hey, push this to stop. But I need a snip test, and a snip test is just getting the piece of film processed. Got it back, and you could barely see Eric. Barely. So I was like, oh, good thing I didn't process the whole roll like that. So I'm like, push it a little more than 2 stops.
Right.
And so now you're at like ISO 12,500 or whatever. So what you do is you overdevelop film that was underexposed.
Got you.
Because you had to shoot it at a high enough shutter speed in order to keep Eric sharp.
Then you got to raise the light level.
So the faster the shutter speed, the less light comes in the camera.
You.
There you only get so much with the film, even 3200. So you had to over process it to compensate, which creates more grain. And that's why that photo looks like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's not a Walgreens job. This is an actual.
It's a lab, like a 1 hour photo lab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you go up there, they give you a little test.
I get like the strip of film. Eric's pretty see-through at that point.
Okay.
Still not that good. I'm like, do the whole roll, but process like a little over 2 stops.
You didn't even get another little test?
No.
to see-
Well, because I didn't want to like, what if I snipped the back nose blunt in half?
Right.
Couldn't do that. So I had to go with a little over.
I'm
2
getting anxiety just sitting here like,
Dude, that's crazy.
I mean, listen,
It's a
you're talking
process,
about
man.
like these iconic photos and the process that it was back then to, get these. It's mind blowing to me. I know, I love it. It's crazy.
Well,
Some stuff
nose
I would
blunt.
shoot black and white solely because I could go and process it immediately right away. And some of the stuff, like Danny's stuff, like we did these night Super Amp sessions, and technically speaking, they were difficult to shoot because it was like 25,000 watt lights shining into the camera and strobes and nighttime, and it
What
was
was
hard.
this for?
It was a Super Amp. It was a commercial for one of Danny's shoes. I think in like 2001.
Okay.
Like towards the end of 2001.
Huh.
But just technically speaking, it was like difficult. And I remember dropping, it had to be color.
Okay.
So I remember dropping off the film at my lab and like literally staying up at night, second guessing myself. Like, did I shoot that right? Like, because you have to balance everything out in camera and hopefully, so I picked it up the film the next morning and looked at it. I was like, all right, I'm
It was
good.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
You're almost kind of putting your trust into the lab as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's another reason why I would process my own stuff because I knew I was going to do it the right way. But I didn't have everything in my apartment at the time because color takes more equipment and the temperatures have to be more exact than with black and white. Black and white, you can kind of like, if your chemicals are at like 70 degrees and you need to get them down to like 68, you can put them in a put them in a little bowl of cold water and cool them.
cold
Yeah,
water.
cool them down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it was not the most exact process in the world.
So
Like something like the back nose. Maybe this is crazy, but like, do you have other photos of the back nose blunt that were? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So there's different
angles?
ones, different angle, or maybe the same angle, but
Same angle, because I was kicking it with Carl.
Oh,
and we were
sick.
just talking, and I was like, this looks so sick, because I could see him getting into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we
Right.
just stayed at the same place. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic.
No, you're
it's all
good.
But so there's you have other frames of him,
Yes.
But that frame.
but you don't give those out anywhere. You keep them.
No,
for
no,
yourself.
I still have the roll of film, obviously.
Dude, that's so sick though.
Yeah.
Because like to me, when I watch so maybe some old footage of like a session, and you see the tries, they don't make it, but it's still cool to watch.
Oh, yeah, it's
You know,
amazing.
but it's like you have a lot of those photos,
Yes.
probably stashed like that.
Right,
Oh,
right.
no, I mean, I have so much film stashed, because back then it was like, cool. You know, you go out with like a couple dudes, and like the one photo gets used in the magazine, but all the other photos don't.
Right.
And
Yeah.
luckily, I saved all that film.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily archive it in the best way possible, but I have, I mean, if I had to guess, probably about 35, 40 bins of just film. Like slide
how
film.
many bit?
and
How many bit? What's a bit? Like
Like
oh,
one of those-
slide film.
Yeah, of like
Slides.
Yeah, I probably have like 100,000 slides.
I was gonna say 40,000, but
Wow.
So that's how I found stuff recently that I'll like post on Instagram, where it's like Gino's kickflip on Hollywood Boulevard, or like, you know, where I'm like, because I remember finding that and I was like, oof, all right, like, so, you know, like in, you know, Popecki from the same session, and like,
Yes.
so I still need to go, but now, you know, kids work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
everything.
It's a lot.
I don't have time to like.
going through 100,000 slide. It's a lot.
It'll take a minute.
You could almost just pull out a photo and see that time period.
Oh yeah.
That's something I would probably want to do I would be like, hey Mike, can I look through it, dude? Like, let me
Hey,
check it.
be my guest.
And let him know if you find anything dope. you
Yeah,
know,
Oh, yeah.
'cause,
Where is that like button? Right? Is it right here or right here?
Just a little scroll coming down the bottom.
It's
Subscribe.
over to it's on your
It's on my right?
left.
It's on
No,
my
on your
left.
left.
Hey,
Yeah,
hit
right
that
there.
button right there.
Right there.
Right
Yeah,
there.
please.
The like button's kind of like in the middle there. It's like we're kind of.
Oh, it's like right here?
Kind of.
Like
yeah,
right
and
there?
The subscribe's like over to the left.
Like right over there. All right.